What's up, YouTube? Today we have a few things to discuss. Not too many before we get to our B-movie reviews. I did see some news on the whole Trump and Nato thing. You know, Trump has done more for this country than Obama ever could have thought about doing, or old bummer, or whatever you want to call him. And of course, you know, the far left are throwing all kinds of crap his way, but that's typical. So the whole Trump slashing is still, or slandering is still going on. Yahoo's really bad about it. Yahoo is so far left, it's not even funny. Their writers are retarded. Every single one of them practically are just dumber than a box of rocks. You see it time and time again. They can't even get their facts straight, so... but enough with the politics crap. It's ridiculous. The main thing I want to talk about is, you know, they came out with the whole baby Yoda thing for the Mandalorian or whatever. I'm not going to give you my honest opinion or review on the whole Mandalorian series yet, because I haven't seen it all. I know it's not the greatest, but it's not horrible either. It seems most of them like the baby Yoda, except for the SJWs. Now they're throwing a fit about it because everybody likes it for some reason. Now all of a sudden they don't like it. It's really weird. But that's literally about the best thing of the entire series, is the whole baby Yoda thing so far. Anyways, I'll give you my honest opinion on the whole Mandalorian once it's completed. But the two things I want to talk about mainly is I just got done playing the PS1 classic called The Grinch. Back in the, you know, the 90s or whatever, Jim Carrey did a movie called The Grinch about, of course, the Grinch from the Whoville or Dr. Seuss books, whatever you want to call them. I never really got into these type of books. I thought they were weird. But anyways, the gameplay on this game, The Grinch, it wasn't horrible. It's a Mario style type game, you know, where you got to go to different areas and do certain tasks in each area to complete it. And of course, you got to have certain upgrades and stuff in order to complete certain tasks. Like in this one, particularly The Grinch, you had to find blueprints in order how to build his little evil gadgets or whatever. And they worked off these little rotten eggs from these plants that spew rotten eggs or whatever. But anyways, it wasn't it wasn't like horrible or anything. It was okay for a Mario style game. I have a hard time getting into the whole Dr. Seuss thing. So, you know, it was just, wasn't great, wasn't bad. If you like them style games, the whole Mario type style, you know, you might like it. You can go ahead and give it a whirl, see if you like it. Otherwise, you know, I'm not giving it 2 thumbs down. I'm not giving it 2 thumbs up. I'll give it a 1 thumb up and 1 thumb down. You know, it was okay. It wasn't bad. It wasn't horrible. It was Go ahead and give it a try if you want to. It's not going to hurt anything. Um, However, the one topic I really want to talk about this week before we get to our movie review, B-movie reviews, is the new Child's Play. I just got done watching the new Child's Play, the 2019 Child's Play. If you're expecting it to be anything like the classic 80s version of Child's Play, you are about to be very disappointed. This movie, it was ridiculous. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, you probably won't want to see it anyway. I can't believe I wasted my time watching it. The doll, the supposed Chucky doll, or Buddy doll, whatever you want to call it, is not Charles Lee Ray. In fact, the actor who voices Charles Lee Ray is not even in this. It's not a doll that gets possessed. It's just an android, a robot that goes haywire because it got sabotaged or something. There's one particular scene that really got on my nerves. Is the mother is reading the instructions on how to start the doll or the android or robot or whatever. And of course, naturally, the little boy's name is Andy. Got to get that right. Well, he tells the doll, she says, you tell the doll what its name is after you tell the doll your name. And then that's what the doll recognizes as its name from that point on. So Andy, the little kid, he tells the doll his name. And then the doll recognizes his name and says, Andy, okay. Well, actually it's Andy's supper or something like that, because he says Andy's supper or some crap like that. The doll mistakes him as that's part of his name. But he says, no, he says, I want to call him Han Solo. So he says, your name is Han Solo. Well, the doll says, did I hear Chucky? I like Chucky. I think I'll call myself that. Chucky. Yes, that's good. Chucky. That's my name. You know, I'm like, really? Come on. You know, it's clear day says Han Solo, but the doll automatically tells him his name is Chucky. So, you know, I just thought that was a really dumb part of the movie. The rest of the movie, of course, is, you know, the doll basically goes on a killing spree, killing anybody who Andy doesn't like or has problems with. It really, if they would have named it something else and, you know, did something different, a little different with it, other than copying the Child's Play background, I guess you'd call it background info from the original movie, you know, it would have been, this probably wouldn't have been too bad a movie. You know, the idea, the concept's been done before though, but still, it would have been better than trying to call it Child's Play and using the character names from the previous 80s version. It's just dumb because it had nothing to do with Child's Play whatsoever. But anyways, that's basically movie. It's a killer android. That's basically it. So, or a robot, whatever you want to call it. You can watch it if you want to, but I'm telling you right now, you're going to be very disappointed because it wasn't really that very good at all. It's pretty bad. Anyways, each to their own. I give this 2 thumbs down. It was a terrible, terrible movie. Alright, moving on. Let's get on to your B-movie reviews. Alright, you movie holics. Moving on to your B-movie reviews. This week is Fantasy Week again. The last time I did a Fantasy Week review, I used 2 movies that were kind of about heaven or whatever, that kind of fantasy, like it was more like fantasy comedy. I went ahead and decided to do another fantasy heavenly comedy type movies to review. I went ahead and decided to do an Oh God sequel from the last one when I did the first Oh God. Now Oh God had a sequel called Oh God Book 2, but it was absolutely horrible. It was horrendous. George Burns was the only good thing about that movie. The story was basically the same thing as the first one, except for it had to do with a little girl, and she was to deliver his message, but it was really, really cheesily Hallmarkish style type movie, and it was just terrible. The acting was horrible. So most people don't even consider that movie a sequel. I don't either. Because it was done so bad. The actual sequel is called Oh God, You Devil, which was done in 1984. And of course, George Burns plays God and the devil. And then his co-star was Ted Watts. He's the guy that he has to, as the devil, he's trying to convince him to give him his soul, and God has to go in and try to save him. Now the movie did about 22 million at the box office, which isn't really spectacular. It was okay. Basically the story is this guy, he wants to be a famous musician. He's down on his luck. And he mentions to himself out loud that he would sell his soul to the devil if things would start looking up for him. Now, George Burns, he plays both parts of God and the devil. As the devil, he hears him say this. He has it's kind of cheesy. He's got a car, a sports vehicle, and it's got a little computer in it, and the computer goes and says, tells him, that there's several people that he can look at that's calling for him, basically, is what it calls it. And he sees this guy and what he says, and he says, well, I'll go do him. I'll take him on. So he tries to get him to sign a contract with him that, he's got 7 years of good luck, as you would call it, and then he comes to collect at midnight. Well, he tells him he'll put him on a trial run just to see how things will go. He doesn't actually have to, he's got like so many months, and then he can tell him whether or not he wants to take the contract or not. So the guy signs like an idiot So basically, the devil tricks him to sign it. The guy figures out what's going on. Once he's been at it for a little while, and he finds out his girlfriend that he had, marries some other guy, but she's having his kid. He finds out she's pregnant with his baby. But everyone sees him as, once he signs the contract, everybody sees him as this other guy, not as the person he originally was. And she's actually with this other guy who everybody thinks that is actually him, but is not in reality. So he calls on God to help him out, and of course God and the devil, they basically sit down and play poker. And then, of course God wins him back, and blah blah blah, and everybody's happy ever after kind of thing. It's a really good movie. It's pretty funny. It's got some really good funny parts in it. I give this movie 2 thumbs up. The acting was great. Definitely check out this movie if you like comedy and heavenly fantasy type movies. Definitely worth a watch. You won't be disappointed. George Burns was a hilarious comedian. Moving on, the next movie I want to talk about is called A Date with an Angel. It was done in 1987. It only made about $2 million. It really, it wasn't like super big back then. It's kind of become a cult classic though over the years. It starred Michael Knight. Phoebe Cates is in this. She was pretty popular back in the 80s. And then Emmanuel Burt, she too was pretty popular back then. Emmanuel played the angel, and Phoebe played Michael's girlfriend. This is more of like an angel type movie. It's still kind of like a heavenly fantasy type thing. But anyway, what actually happens is Michael's getting married to Phoebe. Excuse me, I don't know I can't remember the names of the characters. But Michael's getting ready to marry Phoebe. But his buddies come and grab him. He's got 3 buddies who are just idiots. They come and grab him from the party, and kind of dressed like, someone who's going to rob the place. So they come and they steal him for a bachelor party. Once the bachelor party's over, he wakes up. He sees this angel in his pool. She's broken her wing, which is Emmanuel Burt. He decides that he's going to help take care of her until her wing gets better. Now, Emmanuel Burt, she understands everything he's saying, or everything that everybody's saying. She just can't communicate the same way. When she tries to talk, it comes out like a high-pitched bird or something, like she's singing or whistling or something, it's really strange. It's just, kind of like that kind of tone, like she's trying to sing or something. I don't know, it's strange. But anyways, basically throughout the whole movie, his buddies are trying to get the angel. They figure out he has the angel, and they're trying to get him to kind of put her on live TV or acknowledge that he found an angel and tried to prove that she's an actual angel, and he's not allowing it. You know, he's trying to keep him from doing that. Well, he takes care of her. His girlfriend or fiance and her father. At first, her father's going to try to kill him, but then he sees the angel, and then he realizes what she is. He wants to put her on the front of his company's magazine or something like that, like have her help him sell makeup. So he's trying to find her for that reason. The girlfriend wants to find her because she wants to kill both of them, because she thinks that he's cheating on her with her, which he's really not. I mean, he's infatuated with her, but he's really not cheating on her. He's just trying to help her out until she gets better. You know, he hasn't done anything with her or anything like that. Anyways, eventually, you know, he goes and takes her and hides her with him in some old tree house or whatever until she gets better. Well, everybody's out looking for him, including the cops. They eventually all find him. And the angel reveals herself to what she really is. And then she takes off. Michael comes down with some kind of sickness or something, and it ends up in a hospital and it's killing him or something. They all kind of forgive him or whatever and try to help him out, except for the girlfriend and her dad or whatever. They throw a fit and take off. The angel eventually comes back, and I guess she becomes human because she kind of makes like a wish to God or whatever to help him out. Well, she becomes human in the process by giving up her wings or something, and she stays with Michael, and that's the end of the movie, and blah blah blah. Everybody lives happily ever after. He lives, he doesn't die. That's it. It's an alright movie. It wasn't horrible. Like, some of the acting wasn't like the best, but it was decent enough to watch, you know. It wasn't too bad. It was, but it does have they did lay on the cheese factor. It was pretty cheesy. Of course, they did that with several comedy fantasy movies like Splash, you know, in the 80s. You know, there was Splash, there was Electronic Dreams, there were several of them kind of similar to this, romantic comedies that they laid the cheese on, and they did the same thing to this one. They made them pretty cheesy. But otherwise, you know, it was a decent movie for what it was back then. You know, just it was goofy, campy, but it was fun. Definitely give it a watch. You know, I give it 2 thumbs up. It wasn't bad at all. It was decent for what it was back then. Check it out if you're looking for a good comedy movie or whatever. Anyways, if you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments down below. Let me know if there's a gem or an old classic movie I might have missed. And I'll get to reviewing it as soon as I can. Anyways, that's all I have for you this week. Stay cool. I'll see you next week. And I told you you'd be told the truth, and you just been told.